Here we go. Da, da, da. Let's turn that way a little bit. That's fine. Oh, hello, everyone. Or to those who will be soon be joining us. Let's turn the camera that way slightly. Yeah, just saw myself on the stream, sat down cross-legged, getting the stream set up and ready. I'm gonna have the stream up on my phone as well, so I can look at the chat. And user Flying Scotsman, hello, good morning. How are we doing? That reminds me, there's one more thing I need to do. Bear with me just one moment. Wait. Oh, there we go. Yeah, that'll have to do. Not the most pleasant view ever, but at the same time, it's quite an interesting background. Some trays of sorted Lego bricks and a couple of Nerf blasters to keep the background more interesting. So, yes, hello everyone, good morning, how are we doing? Hello to those who will be watching the VOD as well. So, this live stream, first one of the year, and it's going to be pretty good. It's going to be over an hour, it could be out maybe an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours if I can push for it. But the idea of this stream is to get on with some work with my Express coaches. And the minifig who, hello, good morning, and Happy New Year to you as well. Thank you very much for tuning in. So, some of the work I'm going to be doing is, I may as well grab one of the coaches to start off with. So yes, I'm basically going through all of my Express coaches. Nothing too much has really changed. I have added 2 more motors to the coaches. So coaches 1 and 4 had 1 motor each. I have now made it so they both have 2 motors. So the front 4 coaches now have 2 motors. Ooh, that's a bit... Ooh, that's that'll be good. But yes, 2 motors each basically per coach. So that's 8 motors in total for the Express. The reason why I chose to do this is because I am, for now, I'm not going to be looking into getting the roller bearing wheels. I want to get them one day, but I'm afraid that's not going to be happening anytime soon, because I would rather save up some money instead of spend it. So that's something I've done for now. I think I might keep all the motors anyway, because, you know, there's a lot of coaches that need to be hauled. And also, it's actually a bit easier for me to do it this way. I've been working on these sections here, which basically streamlines the undercarriage of the coaches. So if I pick this back up, hopefully lighting will behave. You can kind of see along there where my thumb's being pressed up against. It's now streamlined. The use of the long sort of slope bricks and the more dedicated, more proper looking undercarriage pieces, that's all been taken away. So because this is a streamlined express after all, I thought, you know what, the LNER did have a few passenger services that had streamlined undercarriages. Whilst this isn't prototypical for LMS, this is now more and more so becoming my own personal express, so I can have a bit more fun with it. So, you know, I can have my own kind of fun here. Users, this is a Duck and South Trap. Hello, good morning everyone, good to see you. Thank you very much for tuning in. So yes, streamlined undercarriage, that is what I'm going to be doing with all of these coaches. And I have, if you haven't seen on Discord, printed bricks of my Lego Railway crest. So my YouTube channel profile picture has been updated to basically be this, my Lego Railway crest. It's very difficult to try and show you this because, you know, it's a 1x2 brick, it's quite tiny, it's not the best thing ever. One thing that is a bit sad is it's printed on a white brick, not on a red brick. Sam Brown, good morning, hello, thank you very much for tuning in. What's up, my fellow L-Gauge builder? What's up to you too? Thank you very much for tuning in. And we also have ISB bad photography. A lot of Australian coaches have the streamlined skirt, so there's definitely coaches out there with them. Yes, the only ones that I know in the UK that ever had them were with the LNER services in the 1930s, the Silver Jubilee and the Coronation. So it was, again, something again, the only two that I know prototypical to LNER. But again, other express services out there exist, so why not use them? How's the print quality? The print quality, again, it's difficult for me to show on camera because the camera is actually really blurry, but the print quality is very good. So I've had a number of prints I purchased, and because I still get people asking me, the website is called Way Too Many Bricks. It's based here in the UK, and I was able to discover the website and the store because the person who runs the store is in my Lego user group, which is quite cool. So yeah, I don't get any kind of special discount or anything. I'm still a standard customer. I don't want to make it seem like I'm getting anything special. I'm just using her print services quite frequently, and I've got 30 of these. Loads of them. I'm gonna have a couple of these spare, but yes, this was absolutely amazing. Can't hang around for too long. I have to do a maths test for 3 hours. Ooh boy, yeah, a lot of exams going on. Like January, I think is exam period for those who are back in school, which is quite amazing because, well, not amazing, but funny for me because, I'm not a student anymore. Anyways, let's get on with the building. So actually, there is one more thing I want to show you. So the prints, so this is the story with the prints. You can see there, that's the brick on the coach. It looks quite good. Again, in person it looks good. On camera, it's not the best thing ever. But you can tell there's two different shades of red. And this goes back to what I said a moment ago, where the bricks are printed on white, which is a problem. The original image was just the crest with the white section in the middle made transparent in the picture. And when that was trying to be printed onto a red brick, it proved to be very difficult. So we had to work around it by using basically the same image but with a red background and have that printed onto a white brick. Now, I didn't know that the shade of red was going to be different when applied to the actual model. And, well, it's not the worst thing ever. It's something that we couldn't really have foreseen, but it works. It's something I'm happy with. So, I've got them here. I waited 2 weeks for this as well, which is, you know, a really long 2 weeks. But we can now get on with modifying these coaches. Should be a good time. So yes, this is going to be a potentially 2-hour stream. Basically, the idea is I'm going to finish this stream. I'm going to be heading out to get a haircut, have lunch, and then get on with the rest of the day. So this is one of those opportunities where it's good to be able to do this because this is another cool chance to do a live stream, because, why not? Sam Brown says, is it weird that I'm listening to this also whilst working on a Wings of Fire fanfic? Well, not at all. People listen to and do a lot of things. So if you've got this on whilst you're working on something, that's quite standard. And Southstrap says, thank you for inspiring me to make my Giants for 20. Oh, that's you. Yes, you're monster giants of sorts. There is such a thing as too big. Just remember that, okay? But yes, that's a very, very unique model. So, yeah. Bad Photographer says, this is my first live stream for you. They're usually 1 a.m. for me. Ah, of course, yes. So going back to what I said just now, and this is one of the few live streams I have done outside of the regular sort of time I normally do them. The reason being is that time well, for me it's in the evening, but I do it at that time because there's nothing else going on. But here and now, I've got this Lego project to get on with. Why not do a live stream? That's something I need to get used to doing. There is an opportunity to do more of these, so why wait? The camera angle might not be the best. Am I going to have to shuffle forward? Let me shuffle forward. Just trying to make sure I'm not sitting on anything. But yes, understanding time zones are still very much an issue. I do want to make sure that I can accommodate different time zones to let more people tune in, which is something that I've talked about doing a number of times. Putting it into practice is a bit more tricky than well, not so much tricky, but finding the right time to do so. I could be in the middle of doing, like, let's say I'm doing this today, here and now, just without streaming it. The main issue is I could get to the point where, I'll have lunch and get on with it. I could look back and go, oh man, I really could live stream this because, again, why not? And that would have been another opportunity just missed. Nonetheless, still something I can do, and that's a good thing. Yeah, I'm gonna be replacing the brick pieces with the prints. So previously, these 1x2s with the Technic pins and the yellow circles, these were the sort of brick built representations of the crest that would go in the middle of the coach. But now that I've got prints, I'm going to be using these instead. My only Lego locomotive at the moment is a tiny 15 stud long Victorian rails tractor, which in real life, a farm tractor only on a fixed axle wagon frame. Sounds interesting though. Basically a locomotive that isn't fitted to rails. Another thing I need to be working on as well is, with these coaches as well, is the interior. So something that I have kind of started doing, because this is now the sort of end stage of these coaches, I want to actually work on getting interior decoration done, which is something I've not really done before. I have done it in a very simple way, but to a proper extent where there's minifigures and it's looking more proper. That's something I've not done before. I've got an idea how I want to do it, and I showed it off in a previous live stream with the other coaches I've got behind me here. Oh, well, it's off camera, but never mind. So I've got some tiles for the floor. I've got plenty of seats. Not as many minifigures as I thought I would have to fill up all the coaches, but that's something I've also kind of backed away from too, in the sense that adding all of these extra bricks does technically add on a little bit more weight. And with the amount of coaches I've got, all that weight is still going to add up. So ultimately, in a way, that justifies the addition of 2 more motors. I just need to press everything down. No, oh, damn it. Only did. Talks Train 17. Hello, good morning. Thank you very much for tuning in. Nope. Got to undo the bloody coach all over again. Running out of passengers is definitely something I'm running into. Yeah, I mean, you could just... Well, the thing is, I could make more, like, normal city-style minifigures. The only thing is, I can't really make many more of them unique. That's not so much an issue. I mean, I could technically go into my train station box, because that has another box, a bit bigger than this. Well, way bigger than this. That's just filled with minifigures. So I could definitely run into that box and just pluck as many as I can and just go from there. But I think I'll leave that for another time, because having to get that box out in the first place is, that's a pain in the ass. The Ford 2024 2012 is gonna be the smallest on my layout. Oh dearie dear. Right, listen to me very carefully. I can only assume you've got space for a layout to begin with. If a locomotive of that size is going to be the smallest, then simply put, good luck. Again, genuinely take into what I said a moment ago. There is such a thing as too big. It's fun having a bunch of giants, but you're not going to do yourself any favors if it's just going to be something that ultimately spends all of its time in a box. Question from Tonks Trains. Question: if you wanted to build a hit era Thomas character, which one would it be? Like Murdoch, Molly, Stanley, Hector, Billy, etc. Stanley is on my to build list. So I think technically that answers the question. That is basically, yeah, Stanley. That is a hit era character I do want to build. It does look quite nice. You know, he's a simpler, well, not so much simpler, but a much more different looking tank engine. With the main livery colour being white, the smoke box area having a bit of shine to it instead of it being all black and sort of gritty. So yeah, you know, Stanley is definitely up there as one of the different characters to make. Murdoch was always my favourite. Yeah, Murdoch's a good one. The season 6 and 7 characters, like Emily, Salty, Spencer, Murdoch, Arthur, those are some good characters, and they do feel like they fit into the series very well. They're actually really well thought out. Just applying the undercarriage once again. Again, this takes away all of the previous undercarriage pieces for the streamlined parts. So we get those in. And there we go, another coach added with the Triton Lego Railway emblem crest. Love it. And I've got loads more to do. So we're going to be here for a while. Well, it's not only that, again, like I mentioned a moment ago, I've got all of these streamlined undercarriage pieces to attach. So, you know, we're getting there slowly but surely. Another question, if you wanted to, would you build more Japanese steam engines in Lego? That is sadly a no, because the only reason why I built the D51 is because it's Hero. And that's a Thomas character, that's enough for me to want to make that. And yeah, that's basically where that came from. But it took a more realistic look because I wasn't able to find a toy for Hero to use for the face. So I thought I may as well just make it look like a D51 because it, you know, ultimately the model looks really good. I am satisfied with it. One thing I said in that video as well is I would love to attempt it in the future, potentially, where I am using extra large size drive wheels in the appropriate design. And that way the model will be a little bit longer, a little bit taller, a bit more in scale. But at the same time, the model I've made is still something I'm very satisfied with. So yeah, there's nothing to really take away from that, if that makes sense. Take away from the model, that is. You should build something Australian if you're up for it. There were times where I would go on Flickr and see what some of the Australian Lego train clubs were doing. Because I think there's two. There's the what is it? There's a Lego Victorian Railway Club, something like that. And there's another. There is another one. I can't remember the names because, you know, I'm British, not Victorian, not Australian. But they do have some cool streamlined designs. VRLGM, yes, that is one of them. There is a second one that the name escapes me. MLTC, that's the one. A lot of Australian trains are English, lol. Yes, that is technically true. And Brick Toy Trains, hello and welcome to the stream. Thank you very much for tuning in. And yes, it would be cool to try a streamlined design from Victorian Railways. Because again, they do look really good. But the only issue is I'm not too sure how I would actually want to make that. So the only way I could really think of doing it is applying it in the form of another giant, using the streamlined design of one of those engines for a future giant. I've still got the Demon and have I got another one? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I should. What's the other one? Demon, Manticore. I've got 2 more nameplates basically for giants that I had in mind, and I do want to try and maintain the streamlined design for them. So I could definitely use them for that, but in terms of building the real engine, that's not really something on my list. And I think that comes down to something that I've made known a number of times where it's basically lack of familiarity. Building something, well, when it comes to Lego trains, when you want to build something, you're going to build something that you're familiar with, because that's something that you would ultimately treasure more because it's something that you've seen before. There's a reason why you want to build it. Building something international is you're basically doing it for the challenge, and that model, it could be one of your best models ever, but it might not be as treasured, basically. Bit of a weird way to put it, but that's kind of where this comes from. I don't doubt that I could make a good looking model, but it's not one that I actually want to make. Good day, Luke. Good day to you too, Brick Toy Trick. Sorry, I'm trying to read the chat, and the chat's all the way down here. I need to actually move it closer. So good day to you, Brick Toy Trains. Again, thank you very much for tuning in for as long as you have. An S-Class in LMS colors would be cool. Yes, the streamlined S-Class, I believe, is the one I originally saw. There are a couple of other ones, but that's something for another time. I have a railroad train on my railroad. Sorry, it's weird for me to say railroad because that's an American term. We're British, we say railway. Anyway, it is 48 studs long, has a 15 stud long trucks with 3 axles each, and it has so much drag in the corners that the couplers pull apart. Yeah, I mean, how long? Okay, so the trucks are 15 studs long with 3 axles each. If you're running this on R40s, then you can't really be surprised because that middle wheel needs to either be a blind wheel or it needs to have some kind of swivel motion. So, for example, not quite the same thing, but in terms of it having a 3-wheel axle, if I can get the light to behave, there we go. So this middle wheel basically has a bit of free movement on the side. So if you're going to make it go around R40s or any kind of tight curve, that would be strong. It might be recommended to do that anyways, because I'm only suggesting this because I don't know what your layout is. I don't know what your model is either, so it's one of the things I can do to help you here. Either that or make the middle wheel blind, but again, that's how you built your model. But at the same time, big model. Again, this is also assuming that you're running this on R40s, which is a bit sucky to begin with because nobody likes R40s. They're the standard, they're basic, but it's get rid of R40s as soon as you can. I do run this behemoth on R40. Well, there you go then. So yeah. What is going on? Because this okay. Can you turn up the volume a bit? I'm 100% volume. I still can't hear you. Okay, I've had some volume issues in the past stream as well. I don't know what it is that's causing the volume to make it seem like it's quiet. I'm talking not loudly, but I'm actually doing all right in terms of keeping up a conversation. I can't actually turn myself up though. This is the problem. It's because can I actually use the? Let's see how funky this looks. If I turn it this way. No, no, that doesn't quite work. Okay, so I'm streaming with my tablet, and the tablet doesn't have. If I hang on, if I try this shouldn't have any effect. Right, I'm gonna. Right, that's the only thing I can really do. Yeah, because the only setting I've got is to mute microphone, not necessarily adjust the volume of the microphone, which is a bit sucky. I do apologize, but yeah, someone else in a previous stream, I can't turn up mic volume. That's not a setting I can do here and now. It's probably on my. Again, I am using my tablet for these live streams, so after this live stream, I will have a look at the settings on the tablet itself. Otherwise, this is going to have to be the case for now, and the same thing going forward. But yeah, someone did point out in a previous stream that the microphone was a bit quiet, but it's the same. I've not meddled with any of the options since I first started using this for streaming. So I do apologize that it is quiet, but at the moment I don't know what to do to really change it. Again, I'll look into the options on the tablet itself afterwards, but yeah, my apologies for that. That is interesting though, because I don't know what is doing that. Right, I'll focus on that after the stream because that's not doing me any favors here and now. Right, let's have a look at chat again. Let's try and catch up and keep on topic. I'm going to have to make the middle wheel blind on my upcoming Pacific National 90 class. That will hopefully be built. And Sam says, that's why I use drawbars with the crane to use on my L1 Camelback. Ooh! Haven't seen a model of that in a while. I think that's the one that Tony Sava made years ago. Like his, like well over a decade ago at this point. Maybe even 15 years ago. Like it was late 2000s. His Lego Trains in Action video. Just all of the models he had made at the time. I think one of them was a Camelback, but I think it was that particular one as well. It is indeed. Okay, yeah, it is that one. One thing I really do struggle with sometimes, I don't understand why this is the case. Putting the roof back on the coaches can be a pain in the ass because I don't know what it is with the Lego, but it flexes in such a way where it bows ever so slightly. So if I go to take this off and put it back on, I can't just put it back on properly. I need to squeeze it in some stupid way for it to behave. But yeah, that's another coach done. Undercarriage pieces. I'll tell you what, I've had an idea. Just in regards to the quietness issue. It could be, again, I don't want to linger on this too much. It could be something that's basically just on your end, or it could just be how I'm positioned. Because I got the tablet here, I'm on this side, the microphone is on this side. So if I sit over there, I should be able to talk into the actual microphone and potentially make myself sound a bit louder. I'm going to try that. Let me see if that works. That's the only, genuinely, that's the only thing I can think of doing that could make this seem a bit better. That does mean I'm going to have to adjust everything. Oh, God. Right. Ooh, I'm in the box. Oh, that's not a pleasant angle. Sorry. Right, how does this sound? Is this any better? I am now technically closer to the microphone, so you should be able to hear me. For me, you're not quite for some reason. Well, again, this could be a thing where it's just something on your end, but this is the only thing I can actually do to... Heaps better. Okay, there we go. Yeah, so... It's just how I'm positioned. Okay, so again, like I said, I'm using a tablet. The microphone is on this side. So if I can try and keep myself positioned closer to the microphone going forward, we'll be okay. And okay, hello, thank you very much for tuning in. It's 7 a.m. for you. Ooh, boy. But at the same time, thank you so much for tuning in, though. Even if it's only for a few minutes, given your time zone. And it has officially hit midday for us here in the UK. Oh, right. Readjust. Sun's not even up yet. Yeah, to be honest, it was exactly the same for us. It was technically daytime, but it was really dark and rainy. Oh, speaking of the rain, it's literally just started to rain again. So if you can hear any rain in the background, I do apologize because it's Britain. We get rain nearly every day. And this is in the loft as well, so you will potentially hear the rain hitting the roof. So again, apologies there. Right. It's 11 p.m. in Australia now. Well, I'll tell you what, not a bad time zone. Compared to the fact that I stream in the evenings. Oh, my subscribers over in Australia don't really get the chance to tune in. So this is a pleasant change of events. That's pretty good. But I suppose that does mean in a couple of minutes that my concurrent viewers will probably go from 10 to 5. Let's check. Right, stand by. I'll be back in just a sec. Oh, there we go. Gonna have to take the fleece off as well. It's getting a bit warm now. Yeah, there we go. Old man coming through. Right, where were we? Sun's not even up yet. I wish I could wake up that early. We all learned along the way. 11 p.m. in Australia. In Melbourne, it was raining for a month solid. Wow. That's not good. That is not good. That sounds very British though, because again, one thing that a lot of people associate with Britain is its atrocious weather. But that's not good. Raining for a month. I don't think we've even had it that long over here. Not for a while, at least, not that I can remember. I'm also working on a Reading E4A080 camelback switcher. I just like weird locos, okay? Well, yeah, I mean, everybody knows what they like. That's how you get into building some good models, because you find something a bit obscure, you go ahead and build that, and then you've got yourself a pretty good model. And this is okay. This is one of the coaches that already has interior decoration, and I'm having to tear up. Yeah, and I'm having to tear up the floor, so I really hope I don't take it. Oh, I've got to change this one as well. Oh, bugger. That's all right though. Southern Studios, hello. Thank you very much for tuning in. How are you doing? We should be a foot deep in snow, but because of global warming and climate change, it's just rain. Yeah, we had snow in early December, I think. And what should I do for this? Sorry, I just thinking to myself. Might have to change. Yeah, I might have to change it. But yeah, we had snow in early December, and it was a bit surprising because nobody was expecting snow. The weather forecast said snow for the longest time, and it just wasn't happening. It was cold, but it wasn't snowing. And then it did snow. So we were like, okay, fair enough. Pensy 6755, hello, thank you very much for tuning in. How you doing? Oh. I'll tell you what, using a tweezer to get some of these parts, well, apart is good, but it does leave scratch marks, and that isn't good. Yes, you are in my Discord. I have recognized your username. Thank you for being a member of the Discord server. Very much appreciated. Right. I don't think that really matters because I'm going to be changing that anyway. So yeah, this is what I mentioned earlier. If I can try and get a good, well, the lighting isn't good, but for God's sake, I don't even have a torch now. Oh, I do have a torch. Hang on. I see a torch right over there. Okay, let's try this again because this room is very awkward for lighting. Yeah, that'll do. So yeah, that is basically what some of the internals look like as I showed off in the previous live stream. Quite simple in a way, but it's definitely quite busy. I'm using white tiles for the flooring, and I've got some, actually got more tables over here. Using, if I turn my hand around, some of the 2x4 light grey tiles, and some round reddish brown and black. You really cannot see. Sorry, the lighting really is not good here. I do apologise. Basically, I got loads of tables built up like this. Plenty of figs. But the issue is, I want to redo the flooring because it looks inconsistent and I don't actually like it. I'm going to be replacing it with big old cup of 2x2 white tiles because that just looks tidier. I feel like someone asked me a question earlier and I missed it. Sorry, hang on. No, okay, sorry, we're good. We're good. Well, speaking of questions, RK says Darth Maul or Darth Vader? I think ultimately it has to be Vader, but Darth Maul is a very cool character. I think there's no doubt that he was one of the cooler aspects of the Clone Wars series. I haven't watched Clone Wars in a long time. I haven't even watched the is it season 7? The one that happens at the same time as episode 3? I haven't seen that one yet. Well, I've seen clips online, but not the full episodes. Good show, That's one of the best things I think Star Wars has done, the Clone Wars. Like an OG series, it's so good. Well, I suppose, well, doesn't it really matter? I've got to take all these figures out. Come on. There we go. Sorry, I really should be showing this on screen as well. It's just really, I'm so used to keeping stuff in my lap to make sure nothing falls off. So for the sake of doing the stream, I need to make sure I'm actually, showing things off. So right now, plucking out all of the minifigures. So I can make, I might as well take out all the tables and chairs. Yeah, might do that to be honest. In preparation for relaying the floor of the coach. I've just managed to make a motorized loco that's only 6.5 studs long thanks to a circuit cube. That would make sense. I still haven't bought a circuit cube yet, despite the fact I've said numerous times I would like to. But yeah, that day has yet to come, really. I don't think I will ultimately in the end. If I've gone this long saying that I would like to try and build something with a circuit cube, and I haven't actually bought a circuit cube yet, I think I'm a bit lost for hope, Right, put the floor plates back in. Ooh. I might keep the streamline undercarriage off for now, just for the sake of simplicity. So this is what I'm going to have to do with the other coaches too. So before I actually get on with this, let me just quickly grab another one. Yeah, here we are. Actually, that's a interesting example, sure. So, like I mentioned earlier in the stream, this coach, for example, get the torch because of bad lighting. You can see it has the normal undercarriage using the, well, basically other shaped pieces just to make it look a bit more standard and what is basically prototypical. There's this and four more coaches that need to be replaced to have streamlined undercarriages, so that's going to be replaced. Where's my brush as well? Some of these are really dusty too. I don't know how they pick up dust. It's terrible. We'll get on with that later, that's fine. Just keep that in there. Right. Hey Luke, does Britain get bushfires as bad as Australia or bushfires in general? Uh, Not that I know of. But we most likely do. But if we've ever had it, or at least if we've had any recently, they've definitely been small because any proper insane ones would hit mainstream news. And the last time I saw bushfires being mentioned, well, that I can remember bushfires were mentioned on the news, was basically the ones that were going through Australia about a year or two ago. When was the insane one? Do you remember that? The really insane one where it just kept on spreading across Australia. Well, not across the entire country, but it was so big it was actually too difficult to put out. God, this world is a weird and terrifying place sometimes. End of 2019, early 2020. Oh, early 2020. That was the first sign. Oh dear, that's not good. Sorry, you can't see this right now because I'm having to pluck the tiles out of the coach. Again, I probably should do it this way. Just trying to get used to making sure you can actually see. If anything, I just want to make sure that the tiles don't ping somewhere that I can't get to them. Come on. Speaking of tiles, are they all over there? Yes, they are. I need these ones. I need probably the no, just those. Okay. Oh. The funny thing is, I placed a Bricklink order a few days ago, where I bought some more bigger tiles, and then I decided, you know what, I'm not going to need those tiles anymore. I'm just going to replace everything in the coaches with 2x2 tiles. So yeah, that was a bit pointless, but at the same time, did we go behind? Yeah, just go behind there. So again, trying to make sure that you can see this. But yeah, basically, at least I'm topping up on parts. There are still parts in that order that I need anyways. Right, I need to keep that one there because that covers the hole where the pin for the bogey is. Means we'll get a couple of these in to begin with. Yeah, going alright so far. Again, very difficult to see. Oh, sun's coming back out, that's good. Let me keep up with chat as well. That's something I need to do because we're still getting on with stuff. The interior needs the bulkhead dividing the Vestaloop from the interior of the coach. Right, okay. Nice quality carriages, thank you. Luke, could you make an American steam engine like the B&O EMCEA? No idea what engine that is, and that's probably not going to be on my list. Like the only engines I've got on my to build list are Sodor characters. Even then, I'm not really fussed about building them. I mean, I've got them on the list because they're Sodor characters, and that's pretty much it. I don't really have the desire to build many more engines. Like, I've built everything I think I really want now. So one thing I'm going to do in the future is kind of reorganize the amount of engines I've got. Not necessarily scrap any, but it's just, do I actually want anything else? Actually, yes, I do. So I do want to make a Great Western pannier tank in the future. Just a pannier tank like I've made with Duck, but this time it's going to be 8 studs wide. And it's going to be in TLR livery colors, which is going to be very exciting. And the main reason why I want to do that is because, first of all, it's like the pannier tank is becoming my favorite tank engine design. And again, it's more so because my model of Duck is still one of my favorite models I've ever made. So I want to give it another proper go as a real engine. I can put these chairs back in now. Okay, right, tell you what, let me get rid of these tiles on the other side. Still got quite a bit of chat to catch up with. I reckon Luke would make a badass super long Milwaukee Hiawatha, the 442 version with the Beavertail observation coach. Again, that's not something I'm familiar with, so it might be worth linking a picture or something in the Discord server if you're in there. Do you like LEGO Speed Champions? I have 25 cars with my eye on 5 or 6 more. I've got some Speed Champions cars. I've built a couple. That Ferrari, that old Ferrari that came out a number of months ago, that was a nice one. I bought and built that straight away. That's in a box behind all of that somewhere. But, I've got it and I've built it and it's good. I've still got a couple more in box. And I don't really care for building them, but I do want to get a hold of the new Fast and Furious Skyline. That looks excellent. But I don't think I would build it. I think that's one of those sets I'm going to try and keep a hold of and wait for it to expire. Then try and sell it on one day. That sort of plan hasn't worked out for me too well, it's got to be said. But, at the same time, still worth trying. I need that one to the side. So we are 50 minutes into the stream. I hope everyone is enjoying themselves. This isn't the most thrilling thing ever, but again, this is what I need to get on with. And it's nice to be able to catch up with some members of my community who I don't think previously I've had the opportunity to do so, especially in the live stream. So thank you everyone so much for tuning in for as long as you have. Try and catch up with the chat. Da-da-da. Should LMS Duchess of Sutherland be streamlined like Duchess of Hamilton? Nah, I don't think so. We have one of each, so there's no reason to streamline the second one. Maybe for a special occasion, but at the same time, not really necessary. This is Duck says, I need to go eat some food now. Hope the rest of the stream goes well. Thank you very much, Duck, for tuning in for as long as you have. More details about the Australia fires. Yeah, it's quite horrifying, that sort of thing, when you begin to look at it. Can we see your loco graveyard? It's there it is, I did have, I remember a number of years ago where this was when I had the white chest of drawers that used to basically be here. In one of the drawers, I would have a bunch of semi-built and semi-scrapped models, and that is where my locomotive graveyard basically was. And it was quite interesting to look at it and think, oh, there's so much I can do with all this, but at the same time, these are models I don't care for, I don't have a scrapyard anymore because the pieces, well, the models have been taken apart and the pieces have been split down and organized into these drawers or other appropriate boxes. So, yeah, I mean, if you want to see the scrapyard, you'll have to try and find... Is that video still online? I think that video's been set to private. But, yeah, simply, but I don't really have a scrapyard anymore. It is really cool though, because I've seen other people post pictures of their Lego train scrapyards, and it is really funky to see all the models that they have built in the past and stuff they could do with them in the future. It's a very, again, very cool thing to see, very realistic in a way. Oh, don't lift up the whole thing. Oh, we're getting there. Plates upon plates. It's not the easiest thing to build with, it's got to be said. Tiles, like, that's fine. But having to put smaller plates on top of bigger plates to make sure things actually work, it's not the most fun thing ever. But we're getting there. Let me just make sure everything's actually pressed down, because I've got to do this for about 4 more coaches. And it's not the most fun thing ever, it's got to be said. Okay, so that's all of them. That one goes back over there. That one's in front. Yeah, we can modify that if need be. Right, back to putting everything into the coach. Need my cup of tiles. Some more sunlight has blessed us. Very good. A Disco server. Discord. The top link in all of my videos is a link to a website called Discord, where you can basically chat with people who enjoy the same sort of theme as you, but each server is unique. So my server is all about Lego trains and some Nerf blaster things. So if you want to show us a thing that you've made, you can join the Discord server and post a picture in there. You can chat with loads of fans and loads of people that have the same interests as you. It's a really good thing. It's pretty good. Again, top link. You might have to refresh the stream just in case, but it should be there. I need to buy more parts for my mocks. Yeah, everyone's in the same boat. It's just naturally expensive. Use the brick separator. I don't. Well, I've got brick separator. I can see one over there actually. But the reason why I don't bother with a brick separator is because it's too chunky to use. A pair of tweezers is fine because it's very thin. You got a point on the end. It's just a much more convenient tool. I know how to be careful with a pair of tweezers now, anyways. But it again makes sense as to why a brick separator would be preferred. But this is like a preference thing, basically. Oh, that site is too complex for my old brain. Fair enough. At the same time, there are a lot of places on Discord where it can be a bit overwhelming, so I don't blame you there. If you can hear me sniffling away, I do apologize as well. I've had a really stuffy nose for the past week or so. Not the most fun thing ever. It's got to be said. I'll take those two out, I think. So if I do that there, is that going to be... Yeah, okay. What gauge do you use for your models? I'm starting to do mine 10 studs. That's brave. I stick to, well, to say that I build to any kind of gauge or anything is a bit incorrect, so to say. There are gauges and scales that you can build with Lego trains. Frankly, building 10 studs wide on this track would probably look really good. But I think this is more of a case where, I don't know how to put this. There's no consistency with Lego trains because, again, a lot of people nowadays in the British railway scene are building 8 studs wide, like I do, for example, and that looks fine. You can definitely build wider, but in turn, I think if anything, you just need to accept that you need at least R88 curves to run anything at that scale. It's not so much a gauge thing because the gauge of track is its own thing, but the scale of the models could be anything. I don't really I don't really have a particular scale that I'm building to. I'm just building a model that looks its best. But there is quite a bit to that, you know. So ultimately, it's my scale. I think that's the only way I can really put that. See, that looks way better. So still got quite a way to go. And again, terrible lighting is terrible. But you can see how uniform all of these 2x2 tiles, well, kind of see how uniform all of these 2x2 tiles look. The 2x4 covers the axle hole where the wheel's poking through. But yeah, it's coming along quite nicely. I've got to do this for 5 more coaches. Actually, 4 more coaches, because one of them is a kitchen coach and that's already completely boarded up. My only 10 wide model is the City Rail Double Deck V set. Your Supergiant is 10 studs wide. Only 10? Like, that model is only 10 wide? That's interesting to know. That's definitely something that should be a bit wider. At least given the height. But, you know, again, fair enough. You know, build what you like. I posted a picture of the Milwaukee Hiawatha. Again, I don't know if I pronounced that properly. In the Dingo server. I like that. Disco server, Dingo server, just anything. Okay, I will check that out after the stream. I'm not going to be able to do so at the moment because, you know, I'm a bit occupied. But thank you for tuning in, though, because there's a lot of people who want to show me something, and the go-to answer is, you know, go to Discord, post a picture of it there, and I'll see it in time. But they just refuse to do so. They don't necessarily say that it's because they don't want to use Discord, they refuse. I want to show you something. Okay, post it here. No, I don't want to do that. Like, why do you want to... Like, why are you asking to show me something and then refusing to? There have been some people who have come and gone who have been a bit funny about that, but I don't know. Maybe it's a preference thing. I'm not sure. Come on. Back in. Again, this is not the best angle ever. I do apologise, but I need to make sure I've got this on my lap to get all these pieces in. There we go. Oh yes, I need 2x2 black tiles. So yes, interior of the coach, pretty much done. Because of the lighting, I can't, well, I can do it this way because the light's shining down here, but you can't see inside the ready coach. That's alright though. Yes, I need to get some 2x2 black tiles to go in the gangways. Right, let's decorate the coach with the minifigures now. And just pick random places for it all to go. Again, nothing special, nothing in particular. I don't blame them. I don't like Discord either. Yeah, I mean, not everyone is fond of the website. It is a bit finicky to use because Discord feels like it works in its own way, where it should be working in a similar way to other social media sites. For example, there was someone I was speaking to in the LUKR club, and he was asking me how to use certain features on Discord as if it was similar to Facebook. And I said to him, I'm sorry, but you need to do it a different way because it doesn't quite operate like this. So I was trying to help him out and say, you know, you need to do it this way. You know, you need to go about however, you know, basically trying to give him some instructions on how to use Discord more. And he just kept on saying, "How do you do this? How do you do this?" I was like, "It's not. It doesn't work like that. You can't ask for this kind of feature because it doesn't have that." Why is that minifigure not sitting in? There we go. Oh, because the hand's too low down. So yeah, again, it's not something for everyone. There have been people who have shown up to the server. They will, I don't know, not even say hello. They'll pop in and then pop out on the same day, which is really bizarre because like if you're gonna show up, you understand that you're gonna be there to to use to use the server, chat with people for goodness sakes. If you don't like, again, in case of if you don't like Discord, then you change your mind, you leave. Then obviously nothing's stopping you. But I think this is also a case of you need to be aware of what you're, well, be aware of what you're getting yourself into. Is not quite the right way to put it, but there's no point in starting something only to back out straight away. Does that make sense? And that's basically Discord. It's one of those weird websites where it's done differently and not everyone's a fan. Right, interior redone. TLR crest on the side of the coaches. It's still dark as hell over here because the light is shining that way, not this way where I'm sat. But yeah, there we go. Another coach done. We can put the roof back on. One of those finicky things where, again, the bowing of the bricks makes it a bit difficult to put this back on. And there we go. Another coach done. Can't show this off because it's too ruddy dark. Oh well, that's alright. Let's get the bubble wrap, put it back in the box, and move on to the next coach. I'm considering building one of the Uinta Railways narrow gauge 2662 Malays. Ooh. And did pull trains over Morro Castle, which was a 7.5% climb curve at 66 degrees. I mean, you need a strong enough engine to do that in the first place, and having something that's a Malay, well, there you go. That's got the job done. Right, 1 second, I need to wipe my nose because this sniffling is getting on my nerves. Oh, sorry about that. Right. Thing. Oh, okay. Oh, there we go. Old man sitting down again. Legs gone a bit funny because I've been sitting on it for a bit. Oh, I think I just kicked the box. Yeah, I did. Okay. Where were we? My part-time experience on Discord. It is an escape place for degenerate teens that find everything offensive except their own negative abuse. Yeah, I've had to go through getting rid of some people. Well, not a lot. I think I've had to ban no more than, well, about 10 people in the, what, nearly 2 years I've had the server, which is not bad at all. But there's definitely people who have come and gone who are Yeah, you know that's they shouldn't be sticking around. Basically, they are some bad eggs. On the plus side, it's nice and sunny now. No heavy rain that I heard this morning. Excellent. And who was it that said, there we go, bad photography. You know what would be epic and impractical for your coaches? Working gangways. You know what would actually be possible? Working gangways. I was actually thinking about this last night. I could get a piece of black fabric and cut it up in such a way where it wraps around the gangways of the two coaches. I could rework the gangways themselves to have, like maybe even use some 1x1 Technic bricks with the holes in for the pins. Pardon me. And work it in a way where I can apply the gangway cloth to those coaches, and then as it goes around the corners, you can see the gangways actually sort of flapping around. Well, not flapping around, but bending appropriately. So there is a possible way to do it, but it's a very, very special thing to have to set up and operate. I think if I'm going to do that, it will be for the home layout. Like trying to set up the express and then put all the gangway stuff together, that would be very tedious for a show. But it is possible. I need the coach back out because I just got the pieces I needed. There we go. Now I can put this back in the box. I'm having a hard enough time trying to model a mechanical stroker. I can't imagine doing the gangways. Gangways are easy once you've refined them. Yeah, there are. I don't have any doubt that there is a working Lego gangway out there that somebody has been able to make. Even if it's simple, so long as it operates, that's pretty much all you need. Turn everything around. Yep. So the next coach is the other kitchen coach. Again, bugger all lighting, so I can't really show you. But the interior basically doesn't really exist because the windows are completely covered up with dark grey bricks to represent the covers across the windows in the kitchen coach anyways. At least you don't have your ankle in a brace because it's sprained. Oh dear. That's that's not a very cheerful thing to see. Wonder what happened there. Oh yeah, right, this is one of those coaches taking off the boring non-streamlined undercarriage pieces. I'm not going to bother breaking these down actually because I don't really have the space to appropriately do this. So let's just pile it up there because why not? So back to another case of, let me try and turn around this way a bit so I'm a bit more in. I just hate how dark it is. I can't. I don't want to show the camera that way. That's the only thing. Your trip's going down the stairs. That's what happened. Oh dear. A simple trip to a complicated one. Right, stand by just one moment. I want to figure something out. I want to be able to show you what I'm doing, but in a way that actually lets you see. let's experiment. If I turn the camera around here, there we go. That's better. There's some stuff I don't want to have on camera. I can only cover so much, but that's fine. This, no. So if I were to, well, first of all, move that out of the way. I grab the coach. You can see it. Excellent. That's what I want. Right, I'm gonna have to potentially turn that a bit more. You can see more of me. Hello, how are you? This could potentially make me sound quieter again. So if that's the case, I do apologize, but I'd rather you would be able to see what I'm doing instead of hear me, if that makes sense. Which is, again, I can't get the best of both worlds for this, but this is a very impromptu stream too, so that kind of makes sense. I'll try and shuffle closer, make sure I'm actually audible. And I suppose we'll have to crack on from here. Am I all caught up to there? Yep, I'm basically caught up with the chat. I have to sing louder, yeah. I'll try and, can I don't know, if I try and, I don't want to focus on me? Well, at least you can see me this time, so if I do have something in my lap, you can actually see it. You can also see there, I got the stream on my PC just as a backup, just in case. Also, potentially, this will be a very interesting stream highlight. I don't think it will actually happen, but you're fine. Okay, cool. I don't think this will happen, but every now and then my PC just completely shuts off with power. So if you see that go black, then we'll all know that my PC just lost power. It will turn itself back on, but yeah, it's a bit stupid how it does that every now and then. Beyond my control, but yeah, what are you going to do? Right, then. This coach only needs the undercarriage to be changed. Let's just carry on from there. We are also an hour 15 minutes into the stream, or just about to ding an hour 15. Thank you so much to everyone who has tuned in for as long as they have. It has been a very fun stream so far. Very cool to be able to chat with you a lot. And also for tolerating the confusion that is this stream. You know, having to move the camera around a couple of times. But it is what it is. And what it is, it's not professional. You know, this is someone at home doing hobby stuff. That's pretty much it. Those two off. This is actually much better because when I build, I tend to keep it in my lap. So this is natural. This is a natural way for me to build, but you can now see this too. I don't have to worry about extending my arms out on camera to be able to show you what I'm doing. Is that a mattress behind you? Do you sleep in the attic? Yes, yes I do. This is the way things are in the UK. The cost of living is horrendous. I do still live with my parents, and I don't think I'm going to be able to afford to move out in the next decade or so. It's actually atrocious. Not to go into anything political in nature, but things over here are it's not good. It's not good at all. But yes, to put it simply, I have two siblings, and when the last sibling was born, things had to be rearranged where the loft had to be converted into a bedroom. And as time went on, we were kind of shuffled around, and I took the bedroom space in the loft, which is up here. And I've kind of just stayed up here since. It's kind of alright though, because it's not the most spacious thing ever, but that also means I'm going to have a new space in the house soon to build a proper layout. So I'm going to have a dedicated space for it. Not dedicated where I can have it up all the time, but it's a much better space than what I've got here. So yeah, that's what's going on at the moment. Where's my brush? It's behind? No, there it is. Some of these parts are going to get really dirty. Well, not dirty, but dusty. Better than a shoebox of a bedroom. Yeah, that is very much the case. That was what it nearly was a while back. Yeah, exactly. Like, stupid money for a tiny apartment that is in complete disrepair. It's just atrocious. But this goes into political themes, and this is not a political channel, so we will end this conversation here, respectfully. But yeah, it is what it is. I'm still alive. That's all I care about. So a one-bedroom place for 180,000. Yeah, that sums it up. Literally, that comment there just sums it up. It's the worst. Okay. Oh. Okay, let's try that again. You didn't see that. Well, everyone just did. I nearly dropped the coach then, and I nearly dropped it into the camera. That would have been one hell of an outtake if I just accidentally threw my coach into the camera. Oh my god, that would have been so loud as well. Okay, let's try this again. Good grip. Here we go. So streamlined undercarriage, the railway crest in the middle of the coach, and there we go. One thing that is worth pointing out, speaking of gauge and that sort of conversation earlier, the coaches I have are technically out of scale with how I've built my locomotives. The main body of the coach is 46 studs long, including the two gangway pieces. So from here to here, that's 48 studs. So it's not really as long as it should be, but at the same time, this was mainly because of how I've made the box. I can't make the coaches longer because I would no longer be able to accommodate them in the box that I've made. So it's a good way of kind of scaling things down or not spending so much per coach. But yeah, it is what it is. Okay. Brick Toy Trains, could you do me a favor? Could you delete that comment because it shows an address and a postcode, and that's not something I want to have in the comment section. I don't think I can do it on my Thank you very much. Again, I don't think there's ultimately I don't think there will be any issue, but yeah. Again, thank you very much. There's no issue like from me personally. I don't want to potentially get a message from YouTube saying somebody posted an address on your stream and now that person is getting messages. It's again doubt it will happen, but it's when I'm on YouTube, I play things very safe. I just don't want to risk anything. But yeah, thank you very much for understanding why I asked for that. Right, so that's another coach done. How many coaches? One, two, three, four more coaches left to do. Let's get these emblem pieces done with 4 left over. Pretty good. Well, whether they do or don't, I can't actually confirm. But if something happens, I don't want to be held responsible because it won't be you that something happens to. It went through my channel and potentially it will come back to me. Maybe not straight away. It's just to say again, there's so much too much to say about it. It's just playing it safe. That's all it really is. So yeah, I'm not mad at you or anything like that. It's just play it safe. Right, let's move on back to Lego building. Ooh. I got to step over the camera now to get the next coach out of the box. This stream is a bit of a mess, Camera's been in about 4 or 5 different positions. It's been dark and quiet and light and loud and ugh. Tell you what though, it could be worse. How could it be worse? Could be on fire. Anyway, Oh, this is one of the. I forgot. I need to do internals for the coaches. Pensy 67556 says LMS City of Birmingham. It's a lovely engine, isn't it? So yeah, this is what the internals of the coach previously looks like. That's a bit rubbish, isn't it? Compared to the tile floor that we're going to give it, it will look lovely. Why is that piece there? That's a bit stupid. And how do you have a cobweb? Oh, good lord. No, okay, we're good. Right, minifigures over there, and we'll go from there. And seeing that latest comment, yes, indeed. And that will be my final notice on the conversation. Anyways. They're all out. What do we do first? We may as well get the like the standard procedure of the undercarriage and the emblem in place. I wish the LMS turbo motive was preserved. I mean, I don't think it. I think it was a one-off thing. I don't know how many turbo motives LMS went ahead with. I think it was just one. But given the nature of the design, it wouldn't really make sense for it to be preserved. I think if it was going to be preserved, you would have to be like incredibly lucky for that locomotive to be selected in the first place. Oh, missed a minifigure. There we go. Oh, look at some of these figs as well. Look at this guy. He's got sideburns, rocking a decent sweater, got a tie. Okay, that's a bit amusing. Chairs over there. Fa-la-lang, fa-la-la. I need my tweezers again. That brown diesel-looking steam thingy. Yes, a turbo motive is basically a steam locomotive that looks like a diesel. There was a massive one that I watched a video on this recently of the one of the American. Is it a Milwaukee one? Like the M2 turbo motive, something like that. Again, it's American, so I'm not going to remember it. But it's a good-looking engine, to be honest. Even if it had a number of failures that resulted in it being scrapped, it's not bad for what it was. That's pretty good. And there was one that the LMS made that used the Duchess or Princess body shape, and it was a nice, well, an interesting looking engine to say the least, because the turbo motive uses, well, it's basically a steam turbine. That's what it is. And there's no steam cylinder. Instead it's got this sort of chunky thing going on the side of the boiler. Hornby are releasing one in time, and I cannot wait to see how that looks, because it's a very different model to what's on the market nowadays. I remember seeing that one English brown diesel. That's a different engine. So that is the GT3, the gas turbine Mark III. It is similar in design, but it's not a steam turbine, it's a gas turbine. It doesn't technically qualify as a diesel though, which is really weird. But it was experimental technology at the time, of course. This was basically diesels in the steam era. And the idea of the gas turbine locomotive was to basically it paved the way for the modern diesel design. It was just experimentation and figuring out how to progress railways. It's called the GT3. So yeah, that's the engine that you're thinking of. What's the biggest coach you have? Mine are all 52 studs long, including the gangways. Mine are 48 studs long, including the gangways. So my coach is basically, well, my coaches are basically the same length as yours, just 4 studs shorter. Like, take in 2 studs on each side. Ah, more dusty pieces. Where's my... Can I keep my brush in one place, please? Thank you. Right. Lovely. Streamlined. Emblem. Time for interior details. I don't think Australia needed to experiment with turbines because we watched the Americans waste money on them before scrapping them a couple of years later. Yeah, there are definitely some places in England and the US where experiments took place. Most of them led to better designs, but were ultimately, like, the initial idea was scrapped itself. So once you had a better version of the initial experiments, that first one is now gone. So steam turbines led the way to the gas turbine, which made way for diesels. So the gas turbine Mark III and the steam turbine locomotives, they're gone. Which, again, makes sense. And now it's time to fill up these coaches, which is going to take a good long while. Oh boy. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Exactly. Oh, there's a number of things I could say in response to that, but they are all political in theme, and I need to know not to say that. Anyways, where were we? Coaches. Yes. So this begins the tedious process of filling in the inside of the coach. Not too exciting, it must be said, but this is how it works. One thing I've been able to do, which is quite amazing, so just to the side there, you may have seen this previously behind the boxes, is a big pile of black bricks and plates and other parts that I've been using from the cheap bags I bought about a week ago. So because I've got mountains of these now off-brand parts, I may as well dig into these. I mean, there's no point in me making bricklink orders for official Lego pieces when I have off-brand parts that are ultimately not going to be seen. So there's something to talk about. How does everyone here feel about the use of off-brand parts? Especially if they're not going to be... Well, I think we're all okay with it, because when it comes to building Lego trains, you got wheels and rods. Those are off-brand most of the time. There's a lot of power systems that people are playing around with, like adding more power to the batteries. The circuit cube itself, that's a thing. S-brick, different 9-volt tracks, there's a lot to kind of take in and go through when it comes to custom and, well, basically off-brand parts for the hobby. Ooh. Off-brand to the rescue. Oh yes. The train side of the Lego hobby would be a bit bland if we stuck to what's the word? Not Lego exclusivity. Purist, that's the word. If this was Lego Purist, it would be very boring. But even then, what about just using other brand parts like these? These are standard bricks and plates, just they don't have Lego printed on the studs. Is anybody uppity about that at all, What sort of railway maintenance equipment do you have? I've got the crane from earlier, a few Xbox cars. Xbox cars. Sorry, I read that really stupid. I haven't played my Xbox in forever. Anyway, back to the question. I've got the crane from earlier, some Xbox cars that have been converted to bunk cars, a kitchen car, tool cars, and some loaded flatbeds. I think I've got some. I've definitely got rolling stock in a couple of boxes over there. I'll have to double check what's where, because I know I've got a crane which is in a bit of disrepair. I could definitely repair that and make it look better. And I think that's pretty much it. I don't really have anything maintenance-wise because I focus so much on passenger stuff. This is the bulk of what I've got. Kumata, hello. Thank you so much for tuning in. How you doing? If people can 3D print wheels and rods, windows, handrails, tracks, and motors, I see no issue with using off-brand. Yeah, pretty much that. There are lots of people who are okay and well, this is the thing I want to get into. For the sake of this discussion, I'm in a Lego user group, and they are, well, I suppose they would naturally push for people in the logo to use Lego only parts. There's nothing stopping us from using other brand parts, but if we're going to bring those parts in a model to a show, said pieces can't really be seen. So let's say, this is a standard Lego piece because you can see, well, you can kind of see Lego is printed on the studs here. But compared to some of the off-brand pieces I've got here, if this was like all these flat studs, if they were exposed, it's definitely something that would get noticed and something that could lead to being told off for. I nearly got told off for once, where I did one of, what was it? I can't remember what show it was, but there was a Lego show I did where I took the layout with me, and the corner modules used the rectangular off-brand base plates. And because it's an off-brand base plate, it's different shape. You can see the different colors different. The studs were smooth. It was quite noticeable that it was off-brand. It was pointed out too. I kind of avoided getting told off, but it was kind of from that point onwards where I was shifting my layout to be on 32 by 32 base plates. So yeah, there was something weird going on there, kind of got away with it. I can't bring myself to use off-brand plates, bricks, etc. I don't want what will happen to the long term. Things like warping, at least with Lego, I know where I stand. Yeah, fair enough. For example, reddish brown parts with all the 2010s will break. Yeah. I remember watching a video with the reddish brown pieces as to why that's the case, as to why they're so brittle. So, supposedly, the reason is the dye that is used to create the reddish brown look is not as compatible with the plastic as all the other dyes are. Like, it's the one that is the most fussy, basically. And it's basically causes the bricks when they're made to be brittle, which is quite fascinating. But that's the manufacturer side of things, so I can't really say too much. But in a way, I can understand and make sense of it. Ooh, I don't know how I did that. Okay, just pinged a piece across the room. But yeah, it is what it is. Gonna need 2 of these. I have experience with those parts, yes. Believe me, Luke, they never notice when they're used as filler bricks inside of a structure. Yes, that's something like, even now, for example, so if I show you inside the coach, you can see these middle 4 studs here are basically these off-brand plates, and they're going to be covered with a bunch of white tiles, so no one would ever know, or maybe even care. So something like that is definitely something you can get away with. I mean, no one can force you to rebuild your models either. I mean, if they want to pay for the parts to rebuild it so it's all Lego exclusive, let them do that. That's their mess. Okay, I need to find places to put minifigures. How do I want to do this as well? Was that the... Hang on, what was the coach I did a moment ago? Because if that's the same as this one, I can just copy and paste the template. And I think that is what it is. Right, hopefully this isn't too unflattering of an angle. Yes, it is that coach. Okay, right. Come on. Come on. There we go. Yes, right, okay, that's fine. I'm going to keep this coach open so I can use it as the template for the rest of the other coaches. All the other coaches I have to fill in are basically the same. So if I keep that one there, that will give me everything I need going forward. Alrighty then. I remember that there was a similar issue with Bionicle's lime green parts towards the end of the theme, being ball and socket where there were lots of breakages. Ah, that would make sense with lime green specifically, but with a ball and socket joint where there's a lot of force where you put two pieces together, that would be, you know, that would make sense. South Trap, I see you there. What do you mean caught in 4K? That was, I tell you what, that actually reminds me of a little joke I was trying to avoid making when I hit 4,000 subscribers. I think I unintentionally made it to get it out of the way somewhere. Um, I reached 4,000 subscribers, and in the post that to say that I reached 4,000, I was originally going to say, um, I've reached 4K views, but I couldn't write 4K without it sounding a bit sus. So in my mind, I thought, let me just write out 4,000, that'd be a bit better. And the almighty, as seen on Glasgow Live, Glasgow Brick Subway, he's here. He's here, ladies and gentlemen. He blesses us with his presence. Hello, Miller. I thought you told me not to build a subway train. I thought you wanted me to stay off your turf. Was that not how it went? And good day to you as well. Yes, of course. This is going to be the boring part now, isn't it? It's literally copy and paste. I don't need two of them. Build a subway train, not a Glasgow one. There was a period, I think I showed this off in the group forever ago, where my to build list featured a subway train, but it was also like a subway loop of sorts to go underneath the main layout. And because you don't know what you've just done, Miller. Because I'm going to have a dedicated space in the house to set up my layouts, I would like to try and build a small subway loop. Like a dedicated little bit that goes from the main station off the edge of the table, goes down to a subsection underneath the tables where a subway loop is. Oh, that's something I can do, you know. You know what the sad thing is? Guess what the livery of the subway is going to be? Anyways. Build a Hunter Valley coal train with 96 wagons and 3 locos. Hunter Valley? What, with 96 wagons? Well, first of all, that sounds a bit extreme, but that's another thing I'm not familiar with. So more pictures in the Discord server if you could. That would be very handy. Because the chances, well, I say to post a picture on Discord because I don't really have the brain power to remember to look on Google afterwards. I'll shut down the stream and then immediately I'll go, all right, I need to do something else to get on with that, and whatever it is you suggested, that'll get left behind. Make the subway livery dark red and dark tan so it looks like TLR livery but in darkness. That's interesting. I don't really have that many. You know, that reminds me of a thing I remember seeing, and it's actually really true. So, dark red pieces are actually inconsistent in color and look, because I've got a small bag in one of my sorted boxes over there where all of the what is it? I think it's in my red box, like in one of the 2 red boxes I've got, and I've got a fairly big bag of all my dark red pieces, and the shades of some of the bricks are different. It's all supposed to be dark red, but they're different shades of dark red, and that's not on purpose. Oh, it's so discouraging to want to build in dark red because I know it's not going to look good, which is, again, quite annoying. A bit daft, but yeah. The inconsistent dark red comes from, you guessed it, the 2010s. They are also very brittle. Yeah, it's not something I can personally say that I've experienced. I've only experienced the brittleness of the reddish brown pieces. It's just a shame that some pieces are not so much printed as such, but are just made in such a way where it doesn't quite work how you would hope. Is that all I think it is? Oh, that's right. Okay. Right, I don't need these. Ain't dark red expensive too? I don't really know, because dark red is one of those colors that I don't bother looking at when I make my Bricklink orders. It might be, maybe just a little bit, but I can't confirm that. But Komoto says, not so much these days. Well, that's fair enough. Well, I think that's definitely because more sets are being released with more pieces of that color. Like the Speed Champions Lotus. I don't know what the car name is itself, but there was a good chunk of some really nice dark green pieces in that set. And I think that's one of those good sets that just increases the overall amount of dark green pieces available for people who want to build in dark green. I love how dark green has become more common too. That's just really good. Now, if we could do the same thing with dark red, and with one shade of light blue, I'm still going to rant about this. I might even make a YouTube shorts just of the light blue pieces I've got and how they're all different colors, because that would be something I could actually get off my chest. But yeah, that's a thing I'm still not happy with. But at the same time, who cares? I need this one. Same with dark purple. Yes, dark purple as well. Someone beep their horn there. Yeah, you can hear, every now and then you will be able to hear traffic outside. So the car horn you just heard, that's not really something I could really mute. I do apologize. And every now and then, I've said this to a number of people, particularly with the podcast streaming. So first of all, new episode of the Brick Railway Builders podcast is coming out tomorrow evening, 8 p.m. UK time, with Lego Thomas and Friends Builder, the Lego Creationist. Very exciting. And when it comes to recording that in particular, like I've done this every now and then when it comes to just videos in general, but because of where I live, it's a very packed area, and whatever reason, for the life of me, I don't know why people still do this, but because it's such a dangerous place to go more than 20 miles an hour, a lot of people go, I'll race down here at 70 because sod this. Old man yells at cloud. But the point still stands. For goodness sakes, don't race down there. You don't need to do that to yourself. What were we talking about? Dark green bricks. Something like that. Don't need any more of that one for this one. I'll put one in that one there. The traffic you hear is passing cars going, I hear Luke Triton lives here. I'll give a pip pip. A pip pip. God, you're old. What? That reminds me of a time where I went to a store. This was a few years ago, and I was at the till. There was a woman in front of me being served, and the cashier was asking for something, and he said the word splendid, just casually. Oh, that's splendid. And I kind of threw us both off guard. I thought, that's not something I've ever heard say or be said casually before. Like, the only time I've ever heard someone say the word splendid is describing James from Thomas. And yeah, I don't know, it was kind of weird, kind of funny, kind of cool, but at the same time, like, genuine, I think that's the first time I've ever, or that I can ever recall, someone saying the word splendid casually. Very posh as well, isn't it? Very Tory. Can't go there, we did that already. Anyway. We are getting, sorry, this isn't the most exciting thing ever. We are actually getting along with the interior details. Just getting all of the tiles in place and just building up the interior details. Yes, Miller, we hate the Tories here. we've already had the conversation about houses being too expensive as well. So you know, you can gloat about the fact that you have your own dedicated Lego room. What some people like, hey? Where's that chair? Was that that chair? Yes, it was. Okay. You have 2 Lego rooms and a garage. How fortunate for you. You and your Lego rooms. I mean, technically, I'm going to be getting my own, well, sort of Lego room. I mean, partial Lego room. It'll be used for other things, but it's something I can use in the meantime. One thing I'd like to try and do is use the tables that I'm going to be getting for the Lego room. Well, not so much for the Lego room, but it's going to be to hold my layout on. But the tables I'll be getting, I would like to try and use as workshop tables as well, because I have some Nerf projects in mind that I want to get on and do. And yeah, I've been discovering a couple of some things online, and I thought that's an excellent idea. I want to try and do that, and yeah, I need to really get on with it. Luke likes my dark blue train. I saw the Facebook notification. Thank you, Luke. On Facebook? Oh, was that the A3 or A4 that I saw? Not the A4. Yeah, it was about an A3 that I saw. Just trying to think. Now I'm trying to figure out how Discord works. Yeah, you know, it's simple. It's fine. You know, but it's just a bit different to something like Facebook, for example. It just takes a bit of getting used to. So I'm trying to think of the dark red engine that you're the dark blue engine that you're talking about. I think I saw one this morning. What is it? Yeah, it was like a dark blue A3. Now I've confused him, lol. Yeah. Well, the thing is, it's not so much trying to... because I see... So, like, I go on Flickr, I go on Facebook groups, I've got Discord, you know, I'm exposed to so many builders and so many models. Trying to remember who has built what can actually be a bit of a struggle sometimes. So when somebody says, have you seen my model of this? I can go, probably, yeah, I probably have. But you're going to have to remind me which one it was. Well, if you're on Discord, post a picture there as well. I'll definitely see it in there. I'll tell you what, though, we've actually done quite a bit this stream. Because this was no simple thing to do. Having to, actually, I'll take out all the tables. Do that afterwards, yeah. So, yeah, these coaches, this is a task that's taken me a few days already, on and off. So this is the next period where I've been getting on with these. And it's been pretty good. Pretty good indeed. Again, not the most thrilling stream ever in terms of what you can see me doing. But, you know, again, it's all there. We've got quite a bit done. Quite exciting stream as well with all the faffing around we've had to do. Tell you what, let me have that. There we go. Where was that other minifigure I saw? There it is, this one. I'm going to have to message you in Facebook one day. That will be the day the penny drops. Oh, okay. The thing is, I'm not going to recognize... Well, I'm seeing you here on YouTube as Brick Toy Trains. On Facebook, if you do message me, it's probably going to take a moment to recognize the name and put the two together. So you might have to say, this is me from YouTube, for example. But yeah, you know, fair enough. It would be nice to talk with more Lego Train people. I only talk with so many because, you know, you want to stick to people that you actually know. Meeting someone online out of nowhere can be a bit intimidating. So, in a way, I know you, but I don't actually know you, if that makes sense. So if I don't message, like, if you want to chat, that's cool. But if I don't message you for like 2 weeks, that's not me purposefully ignoring you or anything. It's just because I know you through the hobby, and that's basically it. There was one guy who this is not a good. Well, I'll tell the story anyway because we are going to be coming to a conclusion soon. So there is a guy who used to be in my Discord server, and this is someone who joined the server and wanted to, show off his models. He was a fairly young person, I suppose, in his late teen years, but he had it in his mind. This is something that I can understand because I've done this as well, but not to the not the extent that he did. I understand it in the sense that when you watch someone on YouTube for a long period of time, you get this sort of feeling, this sort of attachment feeling to them. But you are only ever just a viewer, just a subscriber. You're just a fan. They don't. The person that you're, that like the videos you're watching, you're never gonna really know them personally. So trying to get in touch or do something that's a bit more personal could potentially seem out of bounds, if that makes sense. And there was a guy who joined the Discord server who kind of didn't quite take this in, and so he messaged me personal message, like just saying hello to try and get a conversation going over and over again on Discord. For the most of it, I just ignored him. But eventually, I said to him to stop messaging me, and that's when things got a bit out of hand. Parasocial relationship. Yes, it's yeah with streamers. Exactly, that's exactly it. Where you think you're friends with someone online just because you've been watching their videos and streams forever. You don't know them personally. They don't know you personally. So you need to learn to understand the limit, understand the boundary. So yeah, that was basically kind of what happened here. And it was so the frustrating part is he asked me for help for a particular bit of his model, and I was trying to explain it over text on the Discord server. Trying to put it into words was not the best thing ever because again, to try and explain to this person, I was basically saying, right, you need to put this bit here, you need to do this, and make sure you got this all sorted. And again, just doing that solely through text is not an easy thing to do. So I said to him, okay, here's what I'm going to do. Tomorrow, I'm going to record a quick video and I'll send it to you. After that, that will do, okay? So this was a video that I had to record on my birthday. I had to wake up a little bit early, kind of modify the plans in the morning slightly to accommodate this fucking kid. He was, yeah, well, again, late teens. This is someone who, again, there's a number of things to say about it, but basically this young and like a few years younger than me, just trying to get some, like trying to explain something to him was just the most infuriating thing I've ever had to do online. They gain an infatuation for their star. Yeah, I think I was basically that for this person. And he did the token creepy person thing where he technically made two alternate accounts to get back into the Discord server, but he gave himself away straight away. Well, at least with one of them. With another alt account, he purposefully told one of the moderators, um, a 12e. No, like he wasn't. He was not 12. I could tell he was in his at least his late teen years. If he was that young, he would have been deleted straight away. Like delete the kid. He's gone. Okay. But yeah, this was my only experience with someone who didn't understand boundaries online. It's it's an interesting world out there. You know, there's a lot of characters, lots of people that ultimately just want to say hello and chat. And there have been a couple of people I have known online where this has taken effect. But it's because I've spent enough time, like it was built up properly. Um, there's a couple of people who are like basically like some international friends basically who I've been able to become friends with because things were done properly. They didn't push boundaries. It was always just hobby stuff. They didn't make it personal. This guy didn't make anything personal either. Well, he did when he asked me to make a video of this Again, it was a very stupidly simple method that he had already done. He was like, oh, I don't want to dwell on this because this guy actually triggers me. But to put it simply, just make sure that you understand limits when you're talking to someone online. Right, that is another coach done. All of the people are in, all the tiles have been placed. Again, it does look quite tidy. You can see all those squared tiles. It looks very clean. It's something that definitely looks good. So yeah, I'm going to carry this on with the other coaches, and that will be all of that done. I am going to be naming these coaches as well. I've got an idea for names for each of the coaches because I know that's a thing that some express lines have. Every coach in a certain express will have a dedicated name to them. So I've got something in the works for that. It's a shame because a lot of the time they're annoying without meaning to be, and you feel bad for telling them to leave you alone. Yeah, it really is that. It's just they ultimately mean well. If they had ill intent, it would be a completely different vibe. Like you would understand that straight away. In other words, he came onto you like a young creep. Um, basically, I mean that's one way of putting it, but it wasn't again not quite his intent. He was a fan. He was excited. It was a way for him to speak to me directly, and you know he pushed it too far. I mean, one of the first rules in the Discord server is don't message me or the moderators directly. So yeah, he broke that rule straight away. He should have been banned straight after, but this is when I was really relaxed on the rules. So that's his own thing, but never mind. Okay. That coach I'm gonna put over there. And yeah, it's about time to end the stream. We've been going for about 2 hours, which was mainly the plan. I need to go and have lunch, and I have something else going on this afternoon, which is why I'm ending the stream here. I would love to carry on, but I've got other plans going on, which is why this is only going to be only 2 hours. You know, that's still a good stream, and a lot of people come and go for this live stream today. So thank you so much to everyone who has come along. It was really cool to see so many people as well. Doing these live streams in the daytime for me is something I'm going to try and work on more so because, again, this was a very successful stream. I am purposefully ignoring the last few messages because, again, the topic of this particular individual is something that really annoys me. But yeah, make up your own stories as to how this happened. But all you need to know is that guy is now gone. In the train mocks chat, I have finished the form. I have from finished the from of my giant. The front. Oh, I see. That's a misspell. The front of my giant. If you want to check it out when you want to. Yeah, I'll get to that later in the afternoon after I have done everything else I have booked. So, yeah, that's all right. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in for as long as you have. We have now officially hit the 2 hour mark. And yeah, this is going to be yeah, for that's it for today. Yesterday, I uploaded a Nerf Blaster video for the first time in forever. That was really fun. I've got 2 more Nerf Blaster reviews on the way, and I've got 3 Nerf Blaster combos videos that will be coming in due time. Tomorrow is episode 7 of the Brick Railway Builders podcast. It will be premiering at 8 p.m. UK time. So in about I need to do maths. So 6.5 hours tomorrow, if that makes sense. So it's 1:30 now, 6.5 hours, that'll be 8 o'clock, and then it's that time tomorrow. That's when it will be premiering. It's the second longest episode as well. It's just over an hour long. It was an excellent episode to record as well because we had an incredible conversation. It was lots of fun. And yeah, more Lego training stuff is on the way. More showcase videos of the new coaches are coming. And that's pretty much it from me. I will be doing another one of these live streams in time because this was, again, a lot of fun. It was very successful. And thank you again so much, everyone, for tuning in. I shall see you all when I see you. Well, basically, that'll be tomorrow night for the podcast. All right, folks. Thanks again. I'll see you soon. Bye bye.